I concentrated in the processing part and also in the smart sensing part. I'm going to speak about three modalities of sensing: spectral, phase, and depth. And I'm going to concentrate in the task. I go directly to tasks as clustering, classification, mixing, fusion, etc. And also I'm going to present some results in the sensing, in the smart sensing part for our sensors. What is the idea? As I mentioned, in this application, as a classification, fusion, and feature extraction, the idea is that they are, at the end, the important thing in these applications is to take the decision, okay? And what is the problem? The problem is, the problem starts when you try to capture the image. That the problem is that the complexity increases with the dimension of the signal. And what is the solution for that problem? As you know, the solution, or this is a solution, the compressive sensing. But now there is another problem, because if you use compressive sensing, as you see, you need to reconstruct the signal, and now you have another problem. The idea of this presentation, this is the idea of this presentation, that normally you have, this is the signal, you capture the projections, and after you reconstruct, and after you take the decision of classification, pattern recognition, etc. And the idea of this project is go directly to the output without the reconstruction. That is the idea of this presentation. And this is the first part, okay? The processing directly in the compressive domain. But the other idea is to be practical in the laboratory. We need all the designs that I made need to be binary, because you keep the binary constraint, the calibration, the optical setup is going to be easy to implement. That is the idea of my presentation. I'm going to start with the PCA-based binary. Binary impose a very high constraint in the sensing matrix. Okay, this is a representative article that if you want you can read more deeply. The idea of this sensing, this PCA sensing, is when you have this kind of system, this is the sensing matrix, this is your input, and the idea is what is the best projector that you can have in the L2 sense. The best projector is the PCA values, the Eigen vectors, but the problem is that you don't have the data, you have the projections. And in this project, I want to design this matrix that is going to be almost the same as the Eigen vectors. Let me explain it here. Maybe it's easy to understand. The idea, this is the input, okay? And I divide the signal in several subsets. I capture several random projections, and with this random projection, I'm going to estimate the covariant matrix in the compressive domain. After I estimate this covariant matrix, I calculate another projections, another projector, and this projector is optimal given the compressive measurement. And after that, I'm going to take another measurements, and I'm going to put together these ones and this, and after I'm going to reconstruct if I want. Because in this application, I am interested just in to calculate the covariant matrix. Okay, and this is the problem that I solved. Okay, this is your measurements this is your measurements, and I want to recover the covariant matrix, and I impose this constraint that is just the covariant matrix need to be semi-definite positive. To solve that, we program this algorithm, okay, and after that, you have your covariant matrix. This is the first part, to estimate the covariant matrix. But the interesting problem is the second one. How you calculate Eigen vectors that approximate that covariant matrix, but also that this eigenvector need to be binary. That is the interesting part, because we can implement this in the laboratory. Okay, that is the idea, and for that we do this algorithm that essentially is a greedy algorithm, because the solution is 1 and zeros, and that we make is just to apply a folding in the algorithm here, and we converge to the optimal solution. This is a kind of solution. Every row of this is a kind of projector. It's a projector, sorry, and this is optimal. This is two solutions for two different applications, and this is the results. This is when we use these optimal projectors, for example, for reconstruction, and we obtain. This is the errors that we make with random designs. This is the state of the art, and this is our design. Okay, and maybe you don't see clearly here that what do you mean, but look this. This is the number of eigenvectors that you use in the reconstruction. Okay, and this is kind of the performance. The red is when you have the full data. You have compression, and this is what happened with our method, and this is the state of the art. What is the difference between the state of the art and our method? The distribution of the eigenvalues. The eigenvalues of the state of the art is almost linear. The energy is distributed almost linear, and our solution, the most of the energy is concentrated in some eigenvalues. This is very useful for example, very fast reconstruction. This is very useful for that. Okay, I remember you that this is a binary solution. This is the state of the art in the binary solution, not in the real numbers, because the solution is totally different. Okay, now this is another project, the endeavor estimation in the compressive domain. Now, there is a model that can be used in spectral imaging that said that you can model every pixel of your signal as the linear combination of some coefficients, and the name of this matrix, or the name of the columns of this matrix is endeavors. That is the derivative, and this is just the abundances or the percentage of each material. What is the idea of this project? The idea of this project is to calculate, given the projection, calculate the endeavors. That is the idea. Given the projection, with some noise, calculate this matrix. I am not interested in reconstruct the abundances. I just want the endeavors. As I mentioned you can calculate the covariance matrix from the compressive data, and solving this problem is the same problem of before. And after you have the covariance matrix, with that you can calculate the endeavors. That is very useful, because you can approximate a very rough. This is a very rough solution, and now you have several approximations of your data. This is not a reconstruction. This is not a set to inverse. This is just the transpose of the matrix. This is a very bad solution, but we can use that to approximate the endeavors. Okay, and that we make is just to model, or just to convert the covariance matrix to the eigenvectors and the eigenvalues, and after we project this data. Okay, we project this data in the eigenvectors. And after, with this, we apply the state-of-the-art algorithm to endeavor estimation, that is this. And after that, we converge to the solution. This is if you observe, this is the results. And if you see, maybe they are very similar. And that you see here is the endeavors from the original data and from the compressive data. And if you see, they are very similar. Here are the numerical results. This is when you use the full data, and this is when you use just 50% of the data. Also, this is a performance parameters that you can see, and also observe the time. This is the time with the full data, and this is the time with in the compressive domain. But what happens when you reconstruct and after obtain the endeavors? This is you win something in time, and also you win something in the performance, in the quality. And this is very good because you don't need to reconstruct your data to calculate the endeavors. This is another application that Hoover mentioned, the compressive spectral image inclusion. Okay? And as Hoover explained to you, there are several architectures to capture the compressive information. This is very common architecture. The difference between these architectures is the codification. For example, this is there's black and white codification or zeros and ones. And this codification is more complex because you have filters in the codification. Of course, this is more expensive. And this architecture is, in the mathematical point of view, this is the best, but the problem is that the efficiency of the system in terms of the line is very low because you have two co-adapters to two codification marks in the part of the line. Another thing that is that you see, this is the transfer function of the system. You have some shifting here, that this is very difficult for the algorithms, and also here, but this is very nice because you don't have any shifting. That is very good for the algorithms because the performance is better with this architecture. But as I mentioned you, from the optical or from the light efficiency, this is the worst architecture. Okay, and as Hoover mentioned you, this is the typical approach of to capture two compressive measurements, and you have the output. And the idea is to recover the signal. Okay, and to recover the signal, we need assumptions. In this case, we assume that the data can be expressed as a dictionary and coefficients. Also, the dictionary can be the endeavors if you want. This can be the endeavors and the abundances. The application is that you have two inputs. You have a multispectral signal, you have a hyperspectral signal, you have a multispectral compressive measurement, and you have hyperspectral compressive measurement. The idea is to go from here to here, okay, and compare what happened with the original signal. Okay, and I need to say that really you never have this signal because the sensor only let you capture this information. Okay, and to solve the problem, we have a regularization terms, of course, and we have a regularization here. As I mentioned you can use the endeavors of a training dictionary, and in this project, we assume a little more. We assume that the abundances are sparse, or you induce sparsity in the abundances, and after you solve the problem, you calculate the high resolution data cube. This is the state of the art with no compression, because there are another teams that work without any compressive sensing application, and this is the performance, the PSNR, and this is what happens when you compress 50%, and you see the different PSNRs, okay, for the different architectures. As I mentioned you, this is better because you have a better codification, but it's more expensive. Okay, that is one assumption, and this is another assumption. You assume that your image is low rank, that can be useful also, but I need to mention that this is very expensive. Computationally, the low rank assumption is more expensive. That we make here is to assume that you have a non-local low rank prior. The idea is that you have your data cube. You assume that you can divide the cube in several groups. You put together some groups, and you convert that to a matrix, and you approximate with low rank, and after you compact to the original structure. That is the simple idea, and when this is the algorithm that made that, and when you make this approximation, you win something. The resolution is not very good, but this is the state of the art, and this is the different architecture. But compared with the previous result, this is better. But as I mentioned you, this is more expensive because the long run assumption consumes a lot of time in the reconstruction part. Okay, now I move to classification. The idea is to again to make classification in the compressive domain. Again, we have the hyperspectral signal and the multispectral signal. We have the compressive measurements, and the idea is to take the classification decision. And that we make is from the multispectral signal, we calculate some kind of superpixel or some kind of segmentation. And in the multispectral part, we make some interpolation because the spatial resolution is low. And the idea is we name these features because they are features. And the idea is to put together the feature and after apply some algorithm of classification as a super vector machine. Okay, this is very cheap solution. Okay, as I mentioned, for the hyperspectral part that we make is in the interpolation part, it's just to duplicate the values. Very cheap solution. Okay, and in the multispectral part that we make is apply some kind of low pass filtering because this variable P, this is the compressive measurement, and this variable P are the different regions of the image. If you see, this is some kind of average value of the superpixel. We apply this technique, and this is that we get. This is the, if you have your data, this is that. But sorry, this is that what happened when you don't have noise, without any noise. But when you have noise, of course, the performance decrease. And this is the blue one is sorry, the red one is with the proposed method, and the blue one, this one, the blue, is when you first reconstruct the data and after apply the classification algorithm. As you see in the picture, the performance is very similar. You don't need to reconstruct the signal to take the decision of the classification. You don't win almost anything. Okay? Now this is more interesting because this is again classification, but now I'm going to be smart because in the previous work we just stack this feature and this feature, and now I'm going to fuse the features using some mathematical model. Okay, that is the idea of this work, and this is the mathematical model. We are going to assume that you have some space of features. That is not true, but we are going to assume that, and we are going to assume that you have two degradation in the features. That also is not true, but we assume that. Okay. And we assume that we have these degradation matrices as a kind of Gaussian matrix. And after that we solve this problem where this regularization is just to make the feature smooth. That is the idea. Of course, this problem has a closed solution. It's very nice. And after we go to the lab and make the measurements. Okay. And look at it, this is the reconstruction of the new method, of the smart method. And this is the reconstruction for the stacking method, the very low cost method. If you see, you win something, maybe you win a lot when depending on the compression rate. And this is the dependence of the results with the size of the training of the training database. If the training database is very small, you win something with this method. But when you have a lot of samples in the training database, maybe the stacking method is also good. Okay? This is another resource for the same. This is our method, and this is the stacking. This is the state of the art. Okay. Another methods of compressive fusion, and this is a real measurement. This is the ground truth that happen when you reconstruct and after make the fusion. And this is what happened when you apply our algorithms. And this is the proposed method. Maybe you can see the improvement in this part. Yes, maybe here you can see the improvement in our proposed method. The next topic is the subspace space clustering. This is also important in spectral imaging. And as I mentioned you, I'm going to make a subspace clustering in the compressive domain without any reconstruction. The idea of the space-to-space clustering is that if you have a database, the idea is to express your data as the linear combination of your database. And the idea is to calculate these coefficients. Of course, you need this constraint because you are equal to yourself. You don't need that kind of trivial solutions. And the idea is to calculate the subspace clustering is to solve this problem. Okay? This is the normal problem that you need to solve. Okay, where R is just is the error in your model because you are going to have errors. But before I explain how to solve this, we made this work that we put another regularization term here that is very nice because in the literature the space-to-space clustering is for faces or for images but not for spectral imaging. What is the idea of this term? The idea of this term indeed, you have zeta, the zeta are the coefficients, okay? And the idea is to convert this binomial to a three-dimensional, to the original three-dimensional structure. You see this is the sign of the spectral imaging, n by n. Okay, and we made is to convert this to the original structure, and after we apply some low-pass filter to the features or to the coefficients, sorry, and after we convert again to the original structure, and we name this zeta bar, and we regularize the problem as the coefficients need to be smooth. That is the idea, that with this term, your coefficient is going to be more smooth, okay? But of course, you don't know zeta, you don't know R, and you don't know zeta bar. The idea is to calculate this online in the algorithm. And this is the result. This is that happens. This is the overall accuracy. And if you see, if you impose the spatial constraint, you win a lot of degrees compared with the state of the art. This is the state of the art algorithms, and they don't think in spectral imaging. They think in general applications. Okay. This is the first result. Okay. After we move to apply this space clustering to the compressive domain. Now it's very easy because you can apply directly the space clustering to the compressive data, but we go more and we try to design this matrix to be efficient when you calculate the space clustering. Okay, and this is the kind of solution that we obtain, and the idea is that to preserve the space property of the compressive measurements is to minimize this function. This is the grand matrix. Okay, and the idea is to minimize this term, and if you minimize this term, now you preserve the space clustering in the compressive domain. And this is the kind of solution that we obtain after we solve this problem. This is the kind of projectors and this is the typical random solution. This is good because, why this is good? Because you can implement this in the lab as a bandpass filter. You can implement this in the lab is very difficult because it's a kind of a random spectral response filter, okay? And we made some simulations here, and this is that happens when you have your full data, and this is that happens when you have the compressed data. They are very similar. Of course, it's better to have the full data in this application. And this is that what happened in the overall accuracy when you compare. This is the reconstruction when you reconstruct, and this is without reconstruction. If you see, you need to compare this with this, okay? And if you observe without reconstruction, without optimal code apertures, the performance is almost the same. That is very good. Okay, and also compare the time. You see, this is the time without reconstruction, and this is the time with reconstruction. You win something in the reconstruction. In the time to take the decision. Okay, now I move, of course, to deep learning, but with some novelty. Okay, what is the idea here? The idea is to go to classification, but again, I want to impose that the solution needs to be binary, and this is a little different. Okay, for the idea here is that you have labels and you have two databases. The idea is to minimize this function that represent, of course, the convolutional neural network, and the idea is to use this kind of regularization in the cost function, and this impose in the solution that the weights is going to be binary. In this case, it means 1 and 1, and you can convert that to zeros and ones, and after you go to the your lab and you can implement this in the lab. Okay, let me explain how. First, that we made is to this is the training step. In the training step, you put fully connected layer. Okay, this fully connected layer is going to represent the codification, the optical part, and after you put the software part that is CNN, the normal CNN, and this is interesting because now you are going to train this, okay, with this cost function, and after you train this, you remove the first part, okay. You remember the fully connected layer, you remove that part. And now that part is going to be the hardware. And you put here your input, your compressive measurement, and this word. It can make the classification, the reconstruction, whatever that you want. But the nice part is that the layer that you remove is your codification, your code aperture. You can go to your lab and you can implement that in hardware. Let me show you. This is the fields approach. This is a single database number, very simple. And this is the CNN that we use. This is very common in the literature. And the idea of this is that what happened with the proposed method. You see the performance in the classification, and you see the performance when you don't design anything, and this is the performance when you have real numbers in the code apertures. Okay, and this is for different compression rates. If you see the real numbers has more flexibility, they need to win. The real numbers need to be better in all the cases, but if you see, in some cases, the proposed method, the binary approximation work very well, and this is good because you can be better than the real numbers. This is a second database. This is more difficult, you see, because you have several objects, and if you see, again, of course, the performance decrease, but in some cases, the binary approximation work very well. That means that you can use binary codifications instead of the real numbers. And we go to the lab and we verify this in the lab. Okay, this is a single pixel architecture, and this is the performance in the classification when you increase the compression ratio. Okay, and this is the random solution, the codification, the random codification. This is the optimal codification by using real numbers. You see that there is some structures there, and this is our method, the optimal solution by using binary numbers. Okay, this is very interesting. You see the solution. Now I have time. Yeah, go ahead. This is I'm going to finish very quickly. Okay. This is another application. In this application, you have your measurements are complex. Your measurements are the modulus of a complex signal that is projected for these vectors. In this application, the idea is to recover the signal x, the magnitude and the phase given this kind of projection. Okay, and of course you have noise. To solve that problem, we need to solve this kind of initialization problem, and the problem is that that function is not convex. It's very difficult to solve, and where this function f is just the absolute value, and q is just the root square of your measurements. Okay, you need to solve this. What is the problem of this solution? That you are going to derivate. You need to, for applying gradient descent algorithms, you need to derivate this function, and you convert to the derivative of the absolute value. But the derivative of the absolute value is discontinuous, and you are going to have problem in the convergence of the algorithm, and also in the speed of the convergence of the algorithm. And to solve this problem, we propose to approximate the absolute value using this function, okay? Where, of course, nu need to be go to 0 in the iterations. Let me show you. This is this function for different values of nu. In this iteration, nu go to 0. When nu is equal to 0, you observe that it converts to the absolute value, okay? When you calculate the gradient of this function, now you don't have the problem of discontinuities. That is very good, because now the algorithm converts very fast. We develop this algorithm, okay, where, as I mentioned you, we control how the new parameters goes to 0. And this is we publish. Not here, but we published this paper, and we compare our algorithm with the state of the art. Okay, this is our algorithm. This is the number of iterations that you need to converge, and this is the errors. And this is our algorithm compared also with the state of the art against the number of measurements that you require to converge. Okay, and now. Instead of, this is the same problem, but now we impose now codification, the codification part, where these matrices are the values of the Fourier transform, of the matrix representation of the Fourier transform, and this matrix D represent this codification. This application is very common in crystallography. Okay. And that we made is to design these coded apertures to be optimal to recover the phase of the signal. That we discovered is that if we impose this constraint to the coded apertures, this is the initialization that the expected value of the initialization is going to be this, and this is the expected value of the initialization when you don't use optimal coded apertures. And you see this expected value is very near to the solution, because you can control L, and when you don't design the code aperture, you observe that you can go very far from the solution. And this is very good because this is a not complex algorithm. You need to be near to the solution to obtain a good result. This is the kind of the idea of the code aperture is that they need to be complementary. If you have one here, you need to have zero here. That is essentially that is the idea. And this is the results. This is the performance when you use a random solution, and this is the performance when you use our method. And this is an example of the reconstruction of the face. This is the original. This is a random solution, and this is our method. Finally, this is another application when you try to capture at the same time the depth and the spectral image. In this architecture, this is just a microbench array, and this is just a filter array of this is the codification. And the innovation in this work is more in the representation part. The innovation here is that we try to decompose this as a tensor, because now we have 5 dimensions. It's more difficult, and we try to use the tensor approximation to solve the problem. We try to solve this, okay? And the innovation maybe here is that you have 5 dimensions, and after when we have the 5-dimensional signal, we convert the 5-dimensional signal to a 3-dimensional signal. In the 3-dimensional space, we calculate a dictionary to the spatial domain, and we fix the dictionary for the spectral domain as the cosine transform. And after we come back, and because we have now this, and this, and now we go back and design the another axis, the another representation basis. I think that this is the innovation according to the reviews. And this is the measurement that we have, and this is the innovation because given the projections. As I mentioned you, we calculate the 3-dimensional projection, and we calculate the dictionary from this kind of measurements. We go to the lab and we implement this in the lab. And this is in the solution we get both. We get depth, and also we get spectral we can discriminate also in the spectral domain. Okay. Finally, this is the conclusion that you can make processing in the compressive domain. This is possible. Sometimes you get a lower performance than the full data, but sometimes you get a better performance than the full data. That is very interesting. And also in the processing time, doing something because you don't need to reconstruct the signal. In the future work, we are trying to analyze why sometimes you get a better performance without reconstruction. That is we are working very hard in this because this happened several times. That sometimes you get a better results using directly the compressive method. And I think that the solution or the problem is the noise, because the algorithms increase the noise, and maybe that is the problem. Thank you for your attention. This is my webpage. If you want to read more about this is my email, and this is my group. And thank you.
Thank you, Henry. That was an amazing talk with several topics, and I think people will be very, very interested in talk about that. But if anyone has anything specific that you want to ask now, any specific topic that draws your attention.
When you showed those computational time what was the process?
This is a general computer. It's not you made the
CPU or?
Yes, a CPU is not a specialized. No, we don't use that.
It's not surprising that the reconstruction could never improve your classification.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising.
Yes, but we can try to analyze why or how much do you bring.
I think that if you state that like as a statistical question, that if you want to classify,
Yeah.
and you want to reconstruct and classify, if you statistically if you try to do two tasks, you can't do it as well as if you try to do one task on the same data.
But when you use, for example, the KC system, the WACCI, you have a mix in the spatial domain, and you are going to do something because you have the mix of the variables, spatial and spectral.
Right.
Maybe you lose something.
You lose something compared to get the full data.
Yeah.
But you do better to do direct classification than reconstruction and then classification.
No, I mean you lose something in the classification.
Well, I thought you were comparing you have the same data.
Yeah.
The same data. You either take the data, reconstruct and then classify,
Yeah.
or just directly classify.
Yeah.
Directly classify will always see the result than reconstruction and classify.
Theoretically, yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, that's great. So I have one question though. So in your phase retrieval examples, I don't know which one, 67 or something like that? Oh man. Oh yeah, no, that was 65. Okay. Here we see, it seems that very, very good results, but we see PSNRs of 20 degrees. What Dr. Young will say about it? Is it good or bad?
From phase retrieval, 20 is enough.
It depends on the application.
Yeah, from phase retrieval, it's not image. The image part is, the phase retrieval part 20 is.
So in this particular case, would you have a different metric that would suit best the ability of phase retrieval instead of just pixel by pixel comparison?
For this application in particular, we estimated PSNR, but also we work with a chemistry department, and also we make a real measurement of this. And really, they don't want to really the image. They want to they go again to the structure, to the three-dimensional structure of the object. They don't want exactly the image. They want to know if the element is I don't know this element or another. But I think that we made this project. They can classify they can take the decision in what element is given the compressive measurement. But I think that at the end they want to know what is the structure of the element. They don't want to know PSNR or they don't care about that.
So if you test it for classification, then
they improve. Or you require less projections.
Okay, beautiful. Let's give a thank to Henry again.